Muy mal.
So today, Alba, who is an advanced player, and myself, who is a beginner player, will share our 3 biggest mistakes since starting paddle. And I have to say the last one still bothers me today. Mistake number 1 is hitting with my arm instead of my body. When I first came to paddle, I thought that strength came from strength, power, how strong you are physically, but it actually has a lot more to do with technique than I thought. For example, Alba and I, when we're in the gym and we're doing strength training exercises, push-ups, pull-ups, whatever, you name it, I am always stronger than her. But in paddle, forehand, backhand, smash, you name it, Alba kicks my ass every time. So why is that? Well, it doesn't come down to how much force you have. And that leads me to my number 1 mistake, hitting with your arm instead of your entire body.
So my first tip is to not use your wrist for almost any shot. In the back of the court, even in the volley, try to keep your wrist solid so it doesn't move. That's gonna give you way more control while hitting. That's something that it made me improve my game by a lot. You actually need way less power than when you hit with your wrist. Like you hit with less power and it goes stronger. My first advice leads to my second mistake, which is don't slice everything. I used to slice every time with my backhand, even with my forehand a lot of times as well. In the volleys, like I used to slice almost every of my hits. And slicing the ball, even if you think that you're hitting fast, what you're actually doing is you're taking away the speed from the ball. You're making the ball slower. And that means that when you are in the back of the court and you're trying to pressure the opponents with the volleys, make your opponents uncomfortable. If you're slicing, the ball reaches slower to the opponents. Try to hit flat because you will see how you can put way more pressure while you are in the back of the court. In the volleys, it's the same. It's good to slide when you are hitting maybe to the center of the court where you want the ball to not bounce a lot of the glass. But if you're hitting maybe to the feet of the opponent or you're just hitting to the person, it's much better to hit flat because that ball will go faster and the other person will not have time to hit their shot comfortable. Muy mal. My third and last mistake is not reading the opponent. And that means that I used to play my matches just thinking of hitting my best shots without knowing which were the worst shots of the opponent. And that's something that I'm still working on getting better because sometimes it's not as easy as it sounds. But just by knowing where your opponent is weak, it makes your life way easier when you're playing a match because you can hit an easy ball to a place where your opponent is weak and you will see how you're gonna get way more points by just unforced mistakes of the opponent. So I think that's a very big tip. This allows you to take less risk. At the end of the day, paddle is a sport where you need consistency. This tip for sure allows you to be way more consistent without making so many mistakes. So as a consequence, you're gonna win more matches.
So in the past, my bandeja was considered a very risky and inconsistent shot. Whenever I had a high lob, I would let the ball pass me, let it hit the glass, and then return it with a lob, just out of safety because I didn't feel confident in my bandeja. Now I feel a lot more confident to take the bandeja even when the ball is pretty far back. And why is because I stopped hitting my bandeja with my elbow lower than my shoulder. As you can see here, my elbow is dropping lower than my shoulder, and that's not what you want. Whenever I had my elbow dropped, I would either hit the ball in the net or in the glass. It was very inconsistent. Here, I'm standing quite close to the net, so I'm getting lucky and I'm getting my balls over. But it's kind of like a 50-50% chance, like kind of a lottery. In this clip, you can see that my elbow is higher than my shoulder. And now, just by correcting this simple thing, I can confidently feel like I'm gonna get my bandeja over. And so it allows me to hold my net position when we're playing a match. Okay, and my last mistake, and this can actually be applied to everything in life, is not starting sooner. I had like this mental block, I think, for paddle because I just saw myself as an endurance athlete, like a cyclist, even a swimmer and a runner, triathlete. I was really good at that type of sport, like just grinding and pushing really, really hard. And I just thought that racket sports weren't my thing. I tried them, and of course, like when you try anything for the first time, you're not gonna be your best at it. And so I just had this block in my head that, okay, paddle is not for me, and I wasn't gonna try it because everything that I want to do in my life, I want to do it really, really well. I'm very single track minded in that way. So I would say that if you have a desire for something, or if you see something, like, don't let that be your reason not to start something. If you're curious about something, try it. And don't let the thought that it's not for you or that you're not good at it stop you, because I swear if I had started paddle when I knew about paddle, and that's when I met Alba, it would have given me 3 extra years of knowing paddle, and I would have been 3 extra years better than I am now. So time is super scarce. We have limited time in our lives. That's one thing that's promised. My biggest tip, and this can be applied to anything in your life, if you're curious about something, don't let that you think you're not good at something stop you from trying, because actually this is one of my favorite sports in the whole world, and I had no idea. For 30-something years, I had no idea that this was actually one of my favorite sports ever.
If you guys liked the video, please give a like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments below.
Thanks for watching, guys.